good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video. And today, hold on, let me hit this light. Today, we got another interesting video topic. Now, today, Alex Van Pelt, the running back coach, Stumph Mitchell, and the tight end coach has all been fired by the Cleveland Browns. Stefanski went out of here and did that. What's today? When they fired him? Tuesday. So they took a little bit longer time with whoever, I forgot what bro name was from last year that was coaching special teams. Can't think of his name. I'm happy he is going though, because Bubba Ventron's been much of an upgrade. But usually, like, you know, when it's a guy like that, that's one of his boys, he take a little bit to fire him. But this time he kind of fired him. He's fired all his coordinators. So I think this is going to lead towards Stefanski potentially giving up play calling. Now, one thing I don't understand is why the wide receiver coach didn't get fired. By far, the wide receivers was the most disappointing and worst unit out of the bunch. So not firing the wide receiver coach, I feel like it's a little weird. Maybe it's out of my football knowledge and I don't know too much about it. Or maybe he's going to get fired or she's going to get fired. I don't even know who our wide receiver coach is. But maybe they're going to get fired later down the road. I think it's like Callahan or something like that. Now that's the offensive line coach. I forgot. I'm gonna have to figure out who's the wide receiver coach. But anyways, the name just can't pop up in my mind right now. But the running back room, I don't know if Jerome Ford inability to see the field, not actually get on the field, but see on the field. I don't know if that had a play into it. Kareem Hunt pretty much did what he was supposed to do. Pierre Strong served that third running back role. The only disappointing person was Jerome Ford. So I'm not understanding the big idea of firing your coach unless it has something to do with firing the offensive coordinator and firing, you know, everybody on the offensive staff besides the head coach who was in charge of it. But now, going on to the tight ends coach, I really don't know why he got fired. It wasn't Jordan Akins' fault that he had a down year. He didn't have a quarterback that could get him the football enough, and he wasn't on the field that much. David Njoku had a breakout year. And Harrison Bryant is Harrison Bryant. So I don't really see the big correlation in firing them two guys. That's my personal opinion on it. Like last year, our special teams was trash. Our defense was trash, like garbage, like piss poor. So I can see why you would fire those guys. Now, our offense wasn't that good. We'll get to that in a second. But the running backs and the tight ends wasn't really the reason. And now Nick Chubb injury, of course, was a big factor into it. But we probably would have still needed a running back too, because it don't look like Jerome Ford would have been that good of a running back too right now. So not to here nor there, but getting onto it, I think the main reason behind this, and I'm happy to see it, is because I think this all got a big correlation to do with Deshaun Watson. For better or worse, I know it's going to be some people that's like, we're still wasting time on this guy. He's getting people fired and and, you know, it's going to be some negative guys. And you got all right to feel that way. I mean, he hasn't performed up to the way that we thought he was going to perform. But that's not the here nor there. So I believe that this is a necessary change. I think the Browns were doing and playing two sides of the fence, which I really didn't like. Take my coat off so I get a little bit comfortable talking to y'all, which I really didn't like. It's like they were trying to merge Stefanski and Deshaun. We're not doing that. We're not going to merge a system that Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, not Matt Stafford, but you could say Matt Stafford, but Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, Joe Flacco, there's another guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not gonna merge that system. Baker, you can say Baker, Jacoby Brissett. I'm not gonna say Baker because he didn't like the system either, but Jacoby Brissett. We're not gonna merge that system that Kevin likes to run with a Deshaun Watson quarterback. Now, regardless if you think Deshaun Watson is good or not, I personally still think he's going to be an elite top 10 player, top 10 at least quarterback. But regardless if you think that's possible or not, you got to look at Deshaun's talent and his skill set level. And high talented guys don't run that Kyle Shanahan and aren't the best in that type of system. So look at Trey Lance, for example. I don't think Trey Lance is that bad of a quarterback. I think Trey Lance might be actually a pretty good backup, or he may give you a chance to be a starter. But when you have him in Kyle Shanahan's system, that's just not gonna merge. It's not gonna cohance together. It's not. So that's not the here nor there. I don't think Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski is necessarily a perfect match as far as with Kevin Stefanski being an offensive play caller and the person that's schematically like scheming up the offense. Now, as far as him being a play caller, I think Stefanski is a great play caller. I think he's a great offensive mind. I think he's a great head coach. I also think, and two things can be right in this scenario, I also think Deshaun Watson is a highly talented quarterback, and I think that he's a great talent, and I think he's going to be a great football player. I think he's going to continue to be a good football player once he can stay healthy. That's my opinion on Deshaun. So, two of those things can be true. But what can also be true is that those two styles of playing football don't merge. And I think the biggest way to shake stuff up and to handle it is let Stefanski be the head coach. He already got Jim Schwartz running the defense. We need another Jim Schwartz on offense. AVP was essentially like Stefanski's wingman, his right-hand man, his whatever Alex Van Pelt is thinking, it's 9 times out of 10 what Stefanski probably would do or something close to it. So I don't think just taking play calling away would have really changed the issue. I think they need to have, and that's why I said maybe getting rid of all of those Kevin guys is the way of doing it. Getting rid of a Stumph issue, getting rid of an AVP, getting rid of your tight ends coach. I think that's the way of doing it. Bringing in a new offensive-minded guy, a guy that can be an OC for Deshaun Watson and bring out that best version of him like the Ravens do with Lamar, like the Bills do with Josh Allen, like the Bengals do with Joe Burrow, like the Chiefs do with Pat Mahomes. Like Tua is not a caliber player, but like how McDaniels did with Tua. I think you need a guy, an offensive-minded coach that's capable of coming in, running that system that Deshaun wants to run, and being great at it, so then we can make the right decisions on the offense and bring in the right talent and bring around pieces around. So I think in AV, now I mind you, another thing, the two things can be right and two things can be true. AVP, I think, is a good OC. I think he's a good head quarterback coach. Look at the talent that he got out of this quarterback room. Look at the preparedness he has done with these quarterbacks. He got Joe Flacco ready to play. DTR ready to play. PJ Walker ready to play. Deshaun Watson, for better or worse, ready to play. Now, he didn't get the best, and it's hard even evaluating or giving anybody a critique or a grade on Deshaun when he never played 4 consistent games in a row. We really don't know. Like, that's the real thing and the real honest-to-God truth of it. But a lot of people are not going to come here and they're not going to say that. They're going to stay on their side of the fence, and somebody's going to be wrong. But we really don't know, man. The guy didn't play 4 straight games. Every time Deshaun Watson got to that 3rd game in a row, he looked like he was about to hit that elite status. So we don't know what's going to happen if he gets 5 games, 6 games in a row. Is he going to start looking like a top 3 quarterback all over again? Because the talent is there. So, or is it going to go right back to him being rusty? Like, a lot of people can say a lot of things, but we really don't know if AVP was a good or a bad thing on Deshaun. But we do know he was good for PJ Walker. He was good for Jacoby Brissett. He was good for Joe Flacco. He was good for DTR. That's valid. That's a lot of different quarterbacks he was good for. And that's just in his Browns tenure. I know AVP was with Aaron Rodgers. I know Kevin Stefanski was with Kirk Cousins. So we don't know. We don't know. But I think bringing in another guy that can get us away from this old, like, West Coast Kyle Shanahan type of offense and get us more to what Deshaun likes to run, regardless if it's a better system to run or not. We need the most out of the quarterback position we can get. Everything else can come later. How we get there is not what's important. It's about the results. The results of the running the Shanahan and the Stefanski system hasn't led to necessarily the best quarterback play with the quarterback that you had signed and gave $230 million to. So what's important is getting in the coach and bringing in the coach to make Deshaun and the offense look the best with Deshaun. Period, point blank. That's what should be important. That's what 2024 got to be about. And that's got to be the main emphasis as a franchise and as an organization and as a city. That's what we need to get around. That's what we need to have our minds thought on, because they took a big investment, and we really don't want this investment not to pay out. So you guys comment down below how y'all feel. I don't think none of the coaches they fired was necessarily bad coaches, unlike last year where they had Joe Woods. Joe Woods might not even be a bad coach, but we'll leave the jury out for that. It's your boy Will. I'm out. Peace.